Hi everyone, it's me, Oishipan, and today, after hearing time and time again in the comment section of all these people asking me how am I so good at this game, I'm gonna tell you exactly how to get better at Bang Dream and make sure you can be able to play expert levels confidently in no time. So in this video, we'll be running over several aspects that you need to take note so that you can better your gameplay and improve your skill in Bang Dream. Firstly, your settings. It sounds silly enough, but your settings do play a factor into how well you can play. If your note speed is too slow, you will not be able to see all the notes properly, and you won't be able to dab the notes, sliders, and flicks in time. And if your note speed is too fast, you can't react to the notes, especially since they all go zoom zoom. So I suggest taking time to slowly and manually adjust your note speed to get the optimal speed that is not too fast and not too slow. Next off is the beat offset. Some days you may be tapping a little bit too fast and other days you'll be tapping too slow. Hence, I recommend that before starting to play, calibrate your note offset every once in a while to handicap you being slightly too fast or too slow. Usually, this will deviate approximately by 1 to 3 in either direction, either the positive or negative direction. But don't worry if it goes more than 1 to 3. This is a rough guide that I feel usually that happens to me and may not apply to you entirely. But anyway, if you're also a person that heavily relies on the beat of the beat maps to play a song just like me, I'll suggest that you make sure your note sound is higher than your character sound effect and the game music so that you can hear the tap notes much better. Secondly, playing with the right combination of a team and for the right purpose. Imagine that you can't FC a certain song, but you want to FC it so badly and you always just get one good or one bad. In such a case, you should use what's called a healer team, where all your units preferably can convert your good and belows into perfects, which can really help save your pain, your agony from missing a FC because of 1 or 2 notes. Trust me, I've been there before and it's not pleasant. One of such cards is the most recent Choo card, where all good notes turn into perfect, and the score of all notes is boosted by 60% for the next 5 seconds. In other occasions, maybe you want to boost your score, then you should look for cards that boost score. Again, just like Choo's most recent card, where the score of all notes is boosted by 60% for the next 5 seconds. And alas, in different situations, such band can be used just like how different ones are used for each event, just more technical. Thirdly, the main gameplay itself. The first thing is that getting good definitely doesn't come without practice and painfully grinding over and over again, but knowing how to do so is equally as important. Well, the two main parts I believe to be important are the common mistakes that you should avoid and the patterns in boundary beat mapping. Avoiding common mistakes are crucial. So one such example is known as jumping. But you ask me, doesn't certain songs require jumping? Yes, it does. But at lower difficulties, honestly, it's not really necessary. Jumping is basically when either one of your hands crosses the invisible middle line of your gameplay area. As boundary is a 7 lane wide gameplay area, if your right hand crosses the 4th lane from the right, or if your left hand crosses the 4th lane from the left, this will be a very prime example of what jumping is. Well, this may be needed in high difficulty songs like Oneness on the expert level, but at lower difficulties, you should learn how to trust each one of your hands to work independently, I would say. Moving on, patterns. After playing Boundary for so long, as of now, I feel that there are about 4 main recognizable patterns so far. The first of 4 is everyone's favorite pattern, the stream. Streams can vary in length, a lot from the shorter ones like in Y.O.L.O to much more longer ones like in Imagination and Great Escape. But the trick is simple. Just make sure you're alternating, pressing buttons using 2 fingers to the tempo and BPM of the song. Well, you think that the streams are the most common one, but there's actually a variant of this where the stream is used instead of notes, sliders. Well, examples of such songs that have this pattern will be higher expert difficulty levels such as Setsuna Trip and Firebird. Idea is very similar to doing a normal stream, but instead you hold each note for a slightly longer period as compared to a tap. Then also repeat this by alternating your fingers as mentioned above in the first part. And moving on, the third pattern is the swing pattern, or as I like to call it. Jazzy patterns will tend to naturally have such a pattern as it's part of the song and fits their beat mapping. This pattern is seen in quite a few Bandari songs such as Hitori, Janain, Dakara by Part-Timers band, honestly one of my favourite bands after Afterglow. And moving on, Karakuri, Perriot. The trick is to imagine this as a stream but with only 2 notes and the second note being very oddly delayed as to give like the jazz kind of vibe. Well, and then lastly, the fourth one is double taps. Songs such as Memories of You and Romeo use this in their beat mapping and are usually parts of the song where most people tend to mess up. The trick is to use one hand to press the notes, somewhat similar to your hand spazzing. Trust me, it sounds very weird, but if you try, you will get the point. However, at higher levels, instead of double taps, it may become 3 taps, 4 taps, even 5. Especially in 6 trillion years. I hate that map. Then you have to use 2 fingers, especially if it becomes 5 in 6 trillion years. Well, sometimes 5 may be used by 2 hands or it may be used by 1 hand, depending on how much space you're given to use both fingers or 1 finger. And with that comes practice. You can obviously practice it in the practice section of Bang Dream, where you press this button and you go into the practice mode. Thus, recognizing such patterns will help yourself understand the beat mapping for each song easier, and thus make it easier to full combo expert songs. Although these are some patterns, this is definitely not all the patterns in the game, as there are beat maps with very unique patterns, and I will say really unique, which will need some time to learn on how to perform. This unfortunately will require practice and a lot of retries to master, but with enough time should not be a problem. And additionally, if you want me to go through a video where I show all the patterns in Bang Dream, or at least most I can find, you please remember to put a comment on this video and I'll maybe do it in the future. And with that, we have come to the end of the video. Well, these are most of the things you should know to become better at Bang Dream, and trust me, with enough practice, you will definitely become better in no time. And finally, if you like this video, please remember to like and share. And also please subscribe to my YouTube channel and follow me for more content like this. And my Instagram page too, down right there in the center of the stream. And with that,